Yasodhanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunjapi Hari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunjabi Hari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasade Go to back to Vrindavan Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasade Go to back to Vrindavan Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada, Jaya. Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nichai Go, Hari Bo, Nichai Go. Jaya Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Radha Gokulananda, Shri Radhe Jaya. Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman, Jaya. Go Premanandi, Haribo. Hare Krishna. Thank you for your help there, Hare Krishna. Okay, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Bhagavad Gita class. We're just going to give class now. Hare Krishna, would you mind going this side, if you could, just for the class? Sorry to trouble you, thank you. We're just going to recite the invocation mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And we're on the 18th chapter entitled Contents of the Gita Summarized. Conclusion, the Perfection of Renunciation. Not the second chapter, we're on the 18th. And we're just going to recite the Sanskrit. I'll do line, if I do a line, and then actually if I'll recite one line, and then we could do call and response maybe. Panchitani Mahabaho Karanai Nabodame Sankye Kritanti Praktani Siddhaye Savakamanam Panchaitani Mahabaho Karani Nibodame Sankye Krite Praktani Siddhaye Sarvakamanam Panchadami Mahabaho Karanani Nabodame Sankhye Krite Praktani Siddhe Sarva Karmanam. Would anyone like to recite? Panchadami Mahabaho Karani Nabodame Sankritani Protani Siddhaye Savakamanam Panchadami Mahabaho Siddhaye Sarvakamana Pancha 5 Etani these Mahabaho Almighty armed 1 Karani causes Niboda just understand me from me Sankhye in the Vedanta Kritante in the conclusion Praktani said Siddhaye for the perfection Sarva of all Karmanam activities. Almighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all actions. Now learn of these from me. This is the translation by Srila Prabhupada. We could do call and response. I'll just read and then if you could respond. Almighty armed Arjuna, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for the accomplishment of all action. Now learn of these from me. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. A question may be raised that since any activity performed must have some reaction, how is it that the person in Krishna consciousness does not suffer or enjoy the reactions of work? The Lord is citing Vedanta philosophy to show how this is possible. He says that there are 5 causes for all activities, and for success in all activity, one should consider these 5 causes. Sankhya means to the stalk of knowledge. The Vedanta is the final stalk of knowledge, accepted by all leading acharyas. Even Sankara accepts Vedanta Sutra as such. Therefore, such authorities should be consulted. The ultimate control is invested in the Supersoul, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Sarvasya Cheham Radasamvisto. He is engaging everyone in certain activities by reminding him of his actions. And Krishna consciousness acts done under his direction from within, yield no reaction, either in this life or in the life after death. Om Aginata Damandasha Gananjana Salaikaya Shakshom Militam Hina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Pradaya Krishna Vashnaya Bhutale Shri Shiva. So we're reading from this Bhagavad Gita, and when you read the introduction of the Bhagavad Gita in the beginning, Srila Prabhupada gives a very deep and easy to understand introduction. And he explains about the 5 subject matters of Bhagavad Gita, the 5 subjects, and which is the first is like the Supreme Lord, the Ishwara, the Supreme Personality, and explaining that actually it's not just God. It's as a post. It's actually Krishna, the Supreme Person, and the personality. God's personal. He's not impersonal. He has feelings, and he knows everything that's going on. And so the first one is Ishwara. Then next is the Jiva, the soul, the living entity. That's us, the spirit, the eternal, we're eternal. And then there's Prakriti, the material nature, Krishna's energy. Everything consists of Krishna's material energy. And it's all moving under his direction. And then there's Kala, time, eternal time, the time factor, Kala, Shakti, which is the checking force for the living entity. And then there's the fifth subject matter, which is karma. Now, karma is the only one out of these 5. Karma is the one that's temporary. Karma is actually temporary, because karma is created by our misuse of free will, of trying to enjoy separately the material energy, the prakriti. The jiva is trying to enjoy the material energy separate than Krishna under time to enjoy, and then his attachment, it creates the ongoing process of action and reaction through his trying to keep the fruit of his action. So it keeps him bound down in the material world. It keeps us bound. We're bound down jivas. We're conditioned souls. So it's amazing actually. Srila Prabhupada, he's given such a nice, from such a not complicated or complex knowledge of the Vedas, the Bhagavad Gita. He's made it easier to understand for us, to actually understand the difference between spirit and matter, to find out more who we are, why we're here, and where the best direction to go in. So as we carry on through. Now, this Bhagavad Gita is 18 chapters. We're on the last chapter here. And it's actually spoken, it last spoken 5,000 years ago. And it's spoken on a battlefield in a world war. You know, there's 640 million soldiers. And on one side, there's like the Kauravas and the Pandavas. And one side there's 11 to 7 flanks. These flanks, each flank is like 4 miles square at least, with all the men. And there's Arjuna, and when it is spoken, it's spoken between the Supreme Lord, the Lord Krishna, and his devotee. And Arjuna's an eternal associate of Krishna. He's very devoted to Krishna, and Krishna actually puts him in a forgetful state when they're on that chariot just before the war, and Arjuna's actually asking the questions, and this is the Bhagavad Gita's being spoken. Bhagavad means a song. Bhagavad means Krishna, like the Supreme Lord, and Gita means a song. It's the song of God. And the Bhagavad Gita was spoken in quite a short time, actually. Krishna was and Arjuna, this conversation, it may have lasted 42, 43 minutes, in comparison to our time. And at that point, Arjuna's looked over the other side and he's seen all the Kauravas, and there are a lot of them are his family members. They're his uncle, his grandfather, his cousins, his brothers, as well, distant brother-in-laws, and so many people were there that he cared for. And he didn't. Then he asked Krishna. He said, "Could you come closer to the center of the battlefield?" So Krishna rode out the chariot, and he's looking right across. Arjuna's seeing, my God, my guru's there, my grandfather, my father. So he becomes very distraught. He's broken. It breaks his heart what he has to do. He has to go and face these. It's a bit like our daily. Sometimes it's like each day we get up. It's as we grow older in life. It's being in the material world in some ways is like a battle, getting through. But the Bhagavad Gita gives us great hope and answers as well. So it's not an easy situation in the material world. So it's all here in the Bhagavad Gita. It's a science. It's actually the science of the soul. It's to understand. First of all, Prabhupada explains. It's the topmost knowledge, really, because most, not that we compare to other religions, which is all a good thing, as long as they're bona fide. Is actually the Bhagavad Gita, and it's like the whole cake. Everything is there to answer and to guide us. Not many teachings. Get straight to the point of actually you're not this body, you're a spirit soul. And Prabhupada's explaining it's like a car and a driver. The soul is the driver, and the body is like the vehicle. So this is very, in some ways it's high knowledge, but it's the beginning of knowledge, because the first step in Krishna consciousness, understanding we are different than our bodies. This body is temporary, but we're the spirit soul. And so the Bhagavad Gita is also like a guidance to get us back to Krishna, back to our original goal. It's like a highway code. If you pass your driving test, you get guided by the highway code book. You have to check what the road signs mean and how to operate in your vehicle to be safe. So the Bhagavad Gita is actually guiding us in the human form of life towards back to Godhead. So now, this 18th chapter that we're going into here, it's actually, I was just thinking, I spoke about this before, but there's the Bhagavad Gita is in 3 different parts. There's the first 6 chapters, the middle 6, and the last 6. The first 6 are based on, Sambandha, the establishing a relationship with Krishna, and through karma, through starting to detach and giving up one's fruits of action, offering their work to God. And then there's the middle part of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the devotional aspect, chapter 9 to... No, it's chapter 7 to chapter 12. That's the Bhakti. And then these last 6 chapters, they're quite technical. I always emphasize on this because the last 6 chapters are about knowledge and detachment. It's how to let go of the material world. Now, as we go into the 18th chapter, the 18th chapter was actually, Prabhupada explains the 18th chapter the 18th chapter is actually is covering the whole Bhagavad Gita, so it's summarizing it all. And because the Bhagavad Gita actually ends in the 17th chapter. There's 17 chapters really. So the last chapter is actually what should we call it? How do you say it? It's a summarizing the entire content of Bhagavad Gita, and in this part, the beginning part of the 18th chapter, it's Krishna's Arjuna's asking the questions about sannyas and renunciation, and he's asking what's the difference? Should one take sannyas? Should one? And Krishna explains that not everyone has to take sannyas. Everyone's got certain natures in this world, but sannyas and renunciation, the fruit of one's actions, are non-different. So if we offer our fruits to Krishna, if we offer whatever we do in this world, if we try to do it, the result, whichever way we can pass on the result of what we do back to Krishna, in some way, whether it's if it's in money, or like if you live outside, if you're a grihasta, you should good to give some donation of all the money we may earn, or after we've given to the taxes and so many things and looked after the home, we should also give something to the Lord, back to the Lord, because actually everything belongs to Krishna originally. Everything belongs to God, and everything's on loan. Everything's on loan, really. All our wealth, our bodies are on loan. They actually belong to Krishna as well. It's all his property. And but Krishna's given us, he gives us free will. So we have free will. That's what, in some ways, does belong to us, is our, to make choice, moment-to-moment choice in our lives. And the best choice, of course, the whole point of human form of life is to inquire. Now, when they explain about the renunciation in this 18th chapter, it's not that one should renounce their work, and especially within that work, one shouldn't renounce their the things they do, like your sacrifice and charity and penances. Like, to give charity is very good. If you can give, especially to Krishna conscious cause, and you sacrifice, like we do our sacrifices. We follow the process of the samskars. We take in initiations, and throughout the Vedic process is different samskaras, and then there's the charity given towards Srila Prabhupada's preaching, and spreading Krishna consciousness. And then there's the penances. Sometimes, devotees, we rise early in the morning. That's not easy. And we try to follow the Ekadashi, twice a month, fastings. This is all for Krishna, and it's difficult in the human form of life to do these sort of things, because the nature of the mind is to want to enjoy, is to want to just go and get a quick fix. But when one more discovers the Bhagavad Gita and devotional service and association devotees, we start to understand there's the modes of nature, the goodness, passion, and ignorance. And if you try to enjoy too much, there's it may taste like nectar, but then it becomes like poison, mode of passion, and then you can fall into the mode of ignorance. But to actually cultivate your spiritual life, we try to come to the mode of goodness. Mode of goodness is cleanliness, truthfulness, austerity. Rising early and having fun. But you have to come to the mode of goodness takes some effort, of course. But we can get that through. The goal is to become Krishna conscious. The goal is to serve Krishna and the association of devotees. So that's the great fortune, is our association. There's nothing like association of devotees. They actually said that there's a nice question between Sanatana Goswami and Lord Chaitanya. He says, do you know what is the worst thing the worst pain a devotee could ever have? And he answers, Sanatana says that actually the worst thing for no matter what would be Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman Shikoranitai Ki Jai, is to actually be out of the association of devotees. Because through our association, we who you associate, you become, and we get great fortune, knowledge, and we get positive association with Krishna in the center of service, eternal association. Takes away all fears, takes away all anxieties. So sort of following a few notes, because I was just also thinking about where we get to this chapter 18, and we're on text 13, it talks about, according to the Vedanta, there are 5 causes for accomplishment of all actions. Now learn these from me. And in the next verse, this a place of action, there's 5 factors of action. A place of action, the body, the performer, the soul, the various senses, the different endeavors, and ultimately the ultimate sanctioner is the super soul. Everything's under, like it explains in Bhagavad Gita, that everything's under Krishna's direction, and Krishna gives the ultimate sanction. So it's better to try to use our body and mind and words and our ambitions towards Krishna. Then life is much more peaceful for us, and there's so much fun in Krishna consciousness. You learn so many things: how to cook, how to musical instruments, and how to sing, how to do things together, how to go out, and how to conquer the mind. Well, not conquer the mind, but learn to deal with the mind. Because that, in a material sense, no one really knows how to deal with the mind. And I'm not saying we're different too much, but in normal society, it's not brought up how difficult the mind is, because it explains in Bhagavad Gita chapter 6, text 6 and text 34, the mind is more difficult to control than the wind. The first thing is to learn in Krishna consciousness is that, the mind and the body and the soul, they're all different. And the mind is actually originally in a mode of goodness. It's governed through sattva gun, and it's just been in some bad habits for so many lifetimes. And it's difficult sometimes coming into spiritual life as well, because we've been so used to doing materialistic things but then we get a calling and we come to spirituality and an awakening, and it's like going against the waves sometimes. But you just got to hang on. They say when the plane's taking off, that's the worst time for anything to happen. So you just got to try and get up there and keep chanting. And then when you're in the air, when you're at 30,000 feet and there's a bit of turbulence, you got a bit of leeway. Because no doubt, even in spiritual life, many difficulties will come, but they'll be so much clearer. You get so many. I'm not just trying to share this. I suppose I'm sharing it from my experience, but it's a great fortune. And so where does it? You learn some things, and in a material sense, but there's no real. Prabhupada explains there's no knowledge of the soul out there. There's no. You can go to colleges and schools and learn all these posh academic subjects. Not saying we don't need to learn to, of course we need to learn to read and write, the basics, and some subject matters, but there's no, where is that department, Prabhupada, you say, where's that department that studies the soul? In your colleges and your schools, where is that? That can tell you the difference between the body and the soul. Because it explains in the purport about Vedanta, Veda, Anta, and Veda meaning knowledge, this eternal knowledge, Veda, and Anta means the conclusion, the end of all knowledge. So what is the end of all knowledge? And it's like we were actually, the end of all knowledge is when one may ask that question, or the beginning of the end of knowledge is, Tata Brahma Jigyasa, who am I? What's this place? This world, why am I in it? And where am I going? And that's the most important question. Anyway, certainly for the beginner in spiritual life, I speak for myself. And Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita we're eternal servants. Jivaya Sarupahai Krishnaya Nichadas. We're all eternal servants of God. And we've been, for a very long time, we've been turned away from Krishna in the material world through millions of lifetimes, millions of samsara chakra going round a wheel of birth and death. And there's so many species of life, 8,400,000 different species, different planetary systems. But Prabhupada explains human form of life is the most adequate for God consciousness. The human form. It's a rare species throughout the different planets. And he says these intelligent people, they say they're intelligent, they do so much studying for their material subject matters, but nobody's doing this study for the ultimate exam, which is having to leave the world. It's hard to imagine that when you're younger. I'm 50-something now, and I can feel it getting real close. And Prabhupada says, at 40, 40 you become a man, or woman becomes a woman, and at 50 prepare for death. You might, if you're a bit sentimental, you might think, oh, I don't want to read that anymore. But actually, Prabhupada's very kind. He's given us a good help with the truth, because it's no joke being in the material world. It's a razor's edge. It's a razor's edge. Actually, spiritual life is also a razor's edge. It's easy to miss it and fall away sometimes. Prabhupada explains the reason we fall away if we don't want to, but it's through offences. We've got to be careful of our offences and learn to check ourselves, control our minds a bit, and also reveal the mind in confidence to those that we trust, and speak about our situations, help each other through, carry each other, because we're personal. We're not impersonal. We're not robots. We're spirit souls. Each spirit soul is individual. Millions and trillions and zillions, and go on all day. You still couldn't imagine how many souls are there from Krishna, even down in the material world, in the prison house. This material world is actually a prison house, and we're just getting a bit of rehabilitation, and we're under the sort of Maya's there, the material energy. She's the checking force. And then she's doing a thankless task. She doesn't want to have to punish us when we turn away from Krishna, but she lures us actually. She'll test us, test our faith. And but we need to chant every day, keep chanting the holy name, hearing and chanting and remembering, because our consciousness, we become easily covered. We're not fully out of the material energy. Shiva Armstrong explains, sometimes devotees think they're fully out of Maya. He says, when you're chanting your 16 rounds and you're practicing quite strongly, he says you're probably halfway up. You're wading through, but you're not fully covered, but we're still under the illusionary energy, a bit like the Matrix. But we carry on in association. There's nothing like association, and devotees association, and the festivals, and friends in devotional service having a similar goal. And then one day, finally, like I say, it's preparation. Krishna consciousness is preparation for death, for leaving this world. We don't want to keep coming round. And everything else is secondary, really. That we shouldn't give up our talents, as they say, or our material subjects, maybe. We should keep ourselves tuned up a bit with our qualifications, maybe. We may get some work to maintain our body and family, But the main goal is our spiritual life, our Krishna consciousness, because that's the eternal goal. And we need to keep that strong at the front through chanting every day, hearing, association devotees, honouring prasadam, seeing the Lord, come and see the deity, residing in a holy place. Try and follow. It's a daily process. There's no holidays in Krishna consciousness. You can have a holiday, but we don't hang up the bead bag. We always try and keep the hand in the bead bag. That's our that's our lifeline. That's the process. I just sort of thought I'd share that from a little bit of experience of my own. I've gone off track a bit. This 18th chapter is quite technical. It covers the whole Bhagavad Gita, but it's some technicalities, and it's just this main point, I think, on the 13th text is understanding that actually the ultimate sanctioner is well, on our level, is the super soul. He's sanctioning everything here. Has anyone got any questions yet? Anything they'd like to ask or anything? Hare Krishna. Yes. Yes, yeah.
My question is, what does that mean? Like, if we're looking to find Vedanta, the end of all knowledge, and Krishna says, I am the end of all knowledge, so like, what does that mean specifically?
So what does Krishna...
All about Krishna path is the end of knowledge.
So yeah, Krishna explains, I am the end of all knowledge. Yeah, so it's the... Krishna says actually, doesn't he, in chapter 7, text 26, Vedaham samavitmani papmanani karjuna pavashani tabhutani. I know all that's happened in the beginning, all that's happening now, and all that is yet to come. I also know all living entities, but me, nobody knows. So, yeah, Krishna is the... He's given us this knowledge. He gives us knowledge, remembrance, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of the Vedas and the knower of Vedanta. So he's also, and in the 10th chapter he explains I am the beginning, the middle, and the end. And what can I say? It's actually... Krishna's there at the end for sure. He's there at the beginning and at the end and in the middle. And, it's anta, the conclusion, he gives us that, depends what level we are of surrender. Because Krishna also reciprocates on our surrender. Ye yatamam prapanyante tamsa devam bhajamiham. As you approach me, I reward you accordingly. So the more one surrenders, the more Krishna helps him through, and gives him knowledge, awakening, and enlightenment. And does anyone want anything else? Don't know if that helps. Hare Krishna. Do we just desire? Yeah, the 5 factors of action. Yeah, we just desire.
Krishna sanctions it, and also when we're not fully surrendered to Krishna, I guess we're more...
It's the modes of nature. Yeah. Yeah, so that chapter 3, text 27, if he thinks he's the doer of the activities, if you think you're the doer, then everything's being carried out by the modes of nature. But we're not the doer. Like the sanctioner, the super soul, it sanctions your next breath, right? The super soul, he's in charge of your how many breaths you've even got. You know, it's like you say, the desire, what you desire. You may desire to do something, but the super soul is calculating your if you deserve it, right? If you've got the purchase, if you've got the bank account, you know, the previous karma. Because you've got a certain amount, I'll just give you an example, you've got a certain amount of breaths, a certain amount of heartbeats in this life, you know, due to your previous karma. Obviously, if you're in Krishna consciousness, it may be changed, because that changes your karma. But, and it's down to this, the super soul will let you know what you deserve, what you can get. You may desire it, but you may not have the qualification to attain it. I suppose that's why Prabhupada says, first deserve, then desire, you know. So it's, yeah.
I'm thinking about it in terms of like, if somebody does something to you that you don't like also, then instead of just saying that, oh, that's such a bad person, you can just think of it that this is Krishna's way of telling me something, or that actually they're under the influence of the modes of nature, so they're just forced to act like that, and it's not really that they're bad natured.
That's nice if you can do that. Of course, it means you have to be quite Krishna conscious in some ways to be able to, if Krishna gives you that intelligence to see that it's not personal, that's, people are influenced. And like say if you're out on Harinam, and you see sometimes this is quite the basic ground level of someone comes along on the Harinam and they're a bit drunk. They're knocking around, but they're under the influence of alcohol, and you just got to be a bit careful. But we're not rude to them, of course. We're just sort of smiling, and then they're passing, they go away. But that, there's many different, different examples, and thank you for that. And I don't know if I helped very much, but. And sometimes when people are a devotee should see that actually when something happens, if there's a difficulty, a devotee's mentality shouldn't be always to blame, point out. Of course, it should be wondering what did I do something wrong there? Wait a minute, I need to, after the situation's calmed down, I need to go and look at myself and check out why I said that, or why did they say that to me? I might have been, that's my karma, I suppose. It's very self-analysis, it's very psychological in a good way, of course. So. Anything else, anyone? Sorry, I don't know if I helped at all, but thank you for your questions. And that was at the end, yeah. How do you know if you deserve when you desire? If you desire something? Well, the thing is, sometimes with our desires, it doesn't always happen immediately. You'll notice when you desire something, there's a lot of time between your wanting something and but at that point, usually you want that right then, and you find that later on, years down the line or something, you get what you wanted, but you didn't want it now. It comes along because of your desire, and but the higher things like deserving Krishna prema, and a real spiritual taste. That's one should approach with humility, shouldn't they? The first item of knowledge is humility, pridelessness, and because it's such a valuable jewel that one who wants something valuable should approach very humbly. So okay, we'll finish off there. We're going to have the arati soon. Thank you for your time, everyone, and tolerance. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanandi, Haribo, Hare Krishna.
माता जी, आ जाओ आज। फिर मत कहना। आ जाओ फटाफट, आ जाओ, मैं कह रहा हूँ ना, खड़े हो जाओ यहाँ।